star quarterback throughout the 2025 class here at the Team Academy. So Josh, you're a big season last season. Led the team to a district championship. How are you looking to build on that physically and mentally into an upcoming big senior season?
Well, I thought we had a good year last year at 9-3, but that was just our first year with Coach B, and now we'll finally have some stability at the coaching position. So I think we'll be even better with our second year coming up.
So, are there any areas of your game specifically that you're trying to build on from last year into this upcoming senior season?
Yeah, so last year I got hurt for 4 games, so I've been working in the weight room a lot I'm trying to not get hurt next year, and I can have a full senior season. And also just working on my velocity and throws. And I've been working with Coach Wiltshire, the offensive coordinator, just about every day in the meeting room, going over different plays and coverages so that could help my game as well.
So take us a little bit to in the locker room. What kind of leadership role do you play not only as a quarterback, but as an upcoming senior? You're an upperclassman. Some of the guys might look up to you. So what kind of leadership role do you think you play in the locker room?
Yeah, so we have a lot of seniors this year, and so we've been getting better as leaders. And I think for me, I lead well, by example, but I'm trying to be more vocal. I'm not a rah-rah hype kind of guy like Tay, but I think I can be loud and get on people at times if I need to.
So take us to your personal goals. What is something personally that you really want to personally have for your upcoming senior season?
Personal goals, I want to go for 2,000 passing yards and 30 total touchdowns if I can.
So to do that, obviously you have to look at film, study your opponents. Yeah. Have you already been looking at that, building off of that from last year? Your opponents you might play again. Have you been, studying them, breaking down film yet, or is that kind of an upcoming season kind of thing?
Yeah, we play a lot of the same teams we did last year. So knowing those teams like St. Andrews, True North, John Carroll, just teams like that. So that'll help just from last year.
What role do you see yourself as to the younger kids? Like I mentioned before, so there's probably some underclassmen that may look up to you and, may want to model a game after you even. So what kind of, what are some things that you say maybe to help the younger kids understand and help them be more like you?
I think just helping people with the routes and where their routes need to be and just knowing what they need to do. I think everyone can use help with that. So that's how I help people.
So I want to end off this interview by, a bit of a lofty question. So what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind at here at the Academy?
The legacy, obviously I want to be known as a good football player, but just as a great teammate and just kind of being friends with everybody on the team and not just having little groups, but knowing everybody and having a relationship with everybody on the team.
So, being one of Joe Dailey's favorite targets on the football field, how would you describe your guys' off the field chemistry, and how does that translate onto the football field?
Yeah, our chemistry off the field is great. I mean, me and Joe, we've known each other for a long time. I was here in 9th grade. We actually played when I was in 6th grade. I was in 7th grade. He was in 6th. We played summer football. We kind of grew that chemistry from here. Then I came to Kings. And yeah, it translated a lot. We played a lot for each other since we were young. So yeah, our chemistry's great.
So obviously, we know you're one of Joe's favorite targets. So how does that off the field chemistry that you just talked about? How does that translate? And how does that affect you guys' on field chemistry? Obviously you guys have that good off field chemistry, which helps you on. But how does you guys develop on the field together?
It translates because me and Joe have a lot of trust in each other. I mean, when he throws the ball, I trust it's going to get to me, and he trusts me that I'm going to catch it. So, yeah, I just think it's very important for a receiver and quarterback to have a good chemistry together, and me and Joe do.
So, obviously, you guys had a lot of big games. Joe had a lot of big moments. You had a lot of big moments. Is there one situation, such maybe like the True North game, when Joe had a few big plays in that game that led to the victory? But is there any specific moment that maybe you and Joe were a part of, or just Joe that was a part of, that really sticks out to you and how you handled the situations?
Yeah, I think probably the Somerset, our playoff game. That was our first playoff win in 5 years, and Joe just had a great performance. He had 6 touchdowns, 4 of them in the air, 2 of them on the ground. He just kind of took it by the handle, as they would say, and just ran off with it and had just a great game, put the team on his back.
So what kind of role, so obviously we know you're a leader, Joe's a leader on the team, but specifically what kind of role does Joe play and encouraging the younger guys, encouraging his other offensive players? So what kind of role does he play on the offense?
Joe's a great leader. He always tries to encourage his teammates. He's like, I remember one time we were at practice and he was encouraging. He's like, "Come on, guys! Like, what are we doing here?" He's like, and that just kind of hit me hard. Like, pause, but it just really inspired me and our team to get the win the next day. I think that was the day before homecoming. We ended up blowing out the team. So yeah, Joe's a very good inspirational speaker. I think he really inspires our guys on and off the field.
So obviously, we talked about maybe a physical attribute that maybe he had that led to a big handling a high pressure situation on the field. But was there anything that ever happened in the locker room or on the bench maybe where he helped be a leader and took over the team and really showed his leadership roles?
Yeah, I think it was halftime of the Benjamin game. We're down by a lot, and Joe's like, "Guys, we're still in it." I mean, we ended up losing that game, but he just inspired us that we still had a chance, and we believed to the end. I mean, we got blown out, but a guy like Joe, I mean, I wouldn't even think we had a chance if it wasn't for Joe.
So what kind of what plays do you guys together? Obviously, big quarterback and wide receiver duo.
Yeah.
What kind of adjustments do you guys make mid-game to help you guys get the victory?
Sometimes I'll be like, if we're not having a good drive or something, I'll be like, "Joe, throw me the ball, I'm open." And sometimes that just doesn't happen. He just doesn't throw me the ball, but he finds other guys. He sometimes finds me, and we get it done. I remember it was 7-7 against Suncoast, a tie game, close game. It wasn't supposed to be competitive. Then I hit a corner out. He threw to me a touchdown, and I was like, boom, 14-7. It ended up, the final score was 42-7. So yeah, that connection right off the bat just gave us that dub.
All right, so I asked Joe the same question, but I want to know from your perspective, what kind of legacy do you think that Joe will leave on the Kings Academy?
Oh, probably the best legacy we've ever seen. I mean, there's only a few guys like Joe, probably none, actually. I'll probably only compare him to Justin Wake. That guy's a 30 for 30 on him. So, I mean, Joe's just going to leave a great legacy on TKA, I'm sure of it. And yeah, because he's a great player, great guy.
Obviously, Joe's the starting quarterback. Years back, I've been trying to learn from him. Mm-hmm. So, what are some qualities that Joe has that you really would like to learn from and maybe implement in your own game?
Joe is a very good leader on the field. Maybe he doesn't speak up as much as others do, but he leads with his actions. And when he's on the field, maybe someone's not lined up, he'll yell at them, be like, "Hey, JV, get in the line," or he'll tell someone their route when they don't know it. So, I want to be more like him that way.
What is his leadership like, not just on the field, but maybe in the locker room if there's an argument between a couple guys? How does he kind of handle these off the field issues with the football team?
Yeah, there may be a little bit of some arguments in the locker room. Sometimes he'll just give them a little pat on the butt, be like, "Hey guys, let's knock it off." But sometimes he'll have to raise his voice, be like, "No, stop that right now," and we'll have to keep the guys in check,
Pat on the butt, I like that. So, what are your goals for football? We know Joe wants to go play college, hopefully pro. But what are your specific goals for football in the future?
I don't know about going to college for football. If the opportunity presents itself, of course, I would take that. But yeah, I think just keep playing in high school. Maybe go far in the playoffs. Maybe make it to a state championship game. You never know. And hopefully continue in high school, but I don't know if I would take the college route.
So obviously we know kind of what impact Joe has right now, but I want to end every interview off with what kind of legacy do you think Joe's going to leave behind here at TKA football?
Oh, it's going to be massive, absolutely massive. Yeah, I just think he's going to go down in history. I think there's maybe even a statue of him outside the football locker room when he leaves. I think he could definitely go into the NFL.
We're here with Coach Evans today, the TKA strength coach, and he's personally worked with Joe for a long time now. So, Coach Evans, so you've seen Joe. He's put on, you helped him put 26 pounds on in the off season. So, how have you seen his hard work in the weight room translate to the football field?
Yeah, obviously we do some stuff for injury prevention, so he has a very little injuries the whole time he's been here. I think we're going on year 3 with Joe, his senior year coming up. His speed has gotten he's gotten way faster. He holds a school record for 20-yard dash right now. 2.62, I think it's a 20-yard dash, school record. So he's gotten bigger, he's gotten faster. His injury prevention stuff is awesome. He doesn't really get hurt very often. To be a starting quarterback and get hit that many times, very low risk of injury for him. And yeah, just to put on that much weight to withstand getting hit at quarterback, but also not get slower, it's pretty hard to do. So that goes to see his consistency and his hard work in the weight room.
So we talked about his off-season and what he did in the off-season to prepare. So what do you do in season with him to monitor or change accordingly to how he's feeling after a big game, or what are you just doing in season to toll on his body?
Yeah, in season is just a lot of maintenance. How you feeling? What mobility do we need? What stability do we need? We're not really, we're no longer squatting 400 pounds in season and cleaning and 250 pounds of those things. We're kind of pulling things back and just trying to recover. A lot of soft tissue, mobility, stability stuff. Obviously, we're going to stay strong. We're not going to try to get weaker in season or get smaller or slower, but at the same time, we got to maintain his level of fitness and not try to push him to where he's sore on the field or stiff or kind of doesn't feel like he can perform the way he needs to on Friday night.
So obviously, Joe does a lot of physical training in season and off season. Is there anything that you do with him personally to work on his mental game, whether it be in season or off season?
Mentally, what I try to do with Joe is bring out leadership qualities. I think if there's any area he lacks, is kind of his leadership right now. Walking into his senior year, I was hoping he would kind of speed that process up. So I bought him a book for Christmas. Believe it or not, I love buying people books. I think books are awesome. I think you can escape reality and go into something that will make you better 1% every day that just requires 10 minutes of reading. So I bought him a leadership book from a Navy SEAL for Christmas, and we've just been working on his mentally, how can he be a better leader.
So what kind of recovery and how does recovery play into a big season like that? So obviously you said maybe in the week of the game you might squat heavy one day, clean heavy one day. But how do you, before a game on Thursday, how would you help Joe recover for performance in a Friday night game?
Yeah, so Thursdays we really start pulling things back. You guys know that we do incline, pull-ups, some kind of overhead press, some kind of overhead pull. So he may do a couple sets, and then we're working in mobility, stability, foam rolling, stretching, things like that. We're really pulling things back on Thursday or Friday. They may do a little bit of fast explosive on Friday before the game, and that's basically it.